Well, November is National Alzheimer's Awareness Month. And as I was talking with our next guests, I really had an awareness of how little I actually know about a disease that's in the news every day now and affects so many people. So we're going to get you some answers this morning, and if you're dealing with that, we're going to get you some help as well. So hang on here for just a couple of seconds while I get Sue Ostrowski, Director of Western Health Home Care, and Eric Wallace to get you up to speed here on this morning. You find this all the time at Western Health Home Care, I'm sure, that folks don't really have a real clear understanding of what Alzheimer's is, don't you?
Yes.
Yep.
And Alzheimer's is really, if you really look at it, it's the fourth leading cause of death right now in the United States, which is really, I mean, you only have cancer and heart disease above that. So it really is a function of the brain that's dying. And if you look at the brain, and it has cells, and it stimulates us to be able to talk to each other. When I talk to you, you talk to me, and you can answer. But in Alzheimer's, that part of the cell is dead. It won't let that chemical release go and say, hey, answer me. So when you ask me a question, there'll be no answer. And you'll wonder why, but that's the first part of the brain that it attacks.
So as we kind of walk through the steps here and the things that you can begin to notice, things you begin to see, I think folks will understand a little bit more about how you were schooling me here. It's a progressive disease where the first thing to go is what, the memory?
Yes, the memory is the very first thing to go. So your short-term memory. So if you're coming home, you put your car keys down on the counter, and you want to come back to find those car keys, you won't, because there was no chemical release to tell you, hey, I left them there on the counter.
So that's the first thing that goes. Mm-hmm. But then as we were talking here during the break a few minutes ago, I said, now, just because the memory goes, and maybe there's some physical debilitation here, mm-hmm. that's starting to go, and you can't respond to me, that doesn't mean you don't understand what I'm saying. That, to me, is terrifying, and I'm sure that is to a lot of folks. So there is still a recognition that goes on.
There can be, and what you really need to do is have empathy with that person and try and relate to the person with the disease. And you know, sometimes your short-term memory may be gone, but your long-term memory will still be there. So you kind of may regress to a state in your teenage years or in your college years or something like that.
Now, why is it when we do stories on the news, quite frequently, we do stories about Alzheimer's patients who have wandered off? Mm-hmm. Now, it's not just that they've wandered off and they're lost. They actually, there's some process going on there. They're going somewhere, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're going home. They're going back home to wherever they were when they were a teenager. They're going back to see their parents. You're going to hear that a lot, especially in the evening. Mm-hmm. And they do wander off. The problem is when they wander off, they're going and then they don't recognize any of their surroundings, even though they may have been walking there for a long time. So it's a terrible disease, and there are devices that you can put on the doors that will alarm when they go out, and there's also a device that you can hook onto their pajamas or their clothes. So if they get up out of a chair to go, it alarms off.
Now, Western Health Home Care offers some service to people in terms of caring for their loved ones, but you also are so cognizant of the fact that the caregivers need care as well. Mm-hmm. And so you really address that, don't you, when you start mm-hmm. talking to prospective clients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're kind of like a support system for a family. So if you have a spouse who has Alzheimer's or dementia-related disease, and you're caring for that person 24/7, it's really tough. It's hard. So you can bring one of our caregivers into your home and give you some respite. And we work 24/7. So we have a lot of people that use us at night.
And you're mm-hmm. very flexible in mm-hmm. the way that you help people as well. You know, you'll help them 1-2 days a week, or 24 hours basically. If that's what's required, you'll make sure that they get that kind of care.
Exactly.
And a lot of people use us on the 4 hours, 3 times a week, just to be able to go get their hair done, go to the bank, mm-hmm. go grocery shopping, and just to sit outside. So I mean, we really try to work with our customers. We want their needs met so that they can feel comfortable with their loved one.
I think the thing it's kind of frightening to a lot of people is the fact that they don't know where this is all going, and they don't want somebody to come in and suddenly dictate to them, mm-hmm. What's going to happen in their lives, and then lose what little control they have left. And again, you're so aware of that. I know from talking to you that you really work with people, and everybody's case is different.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's is different. We try to work with the families. We also work with the patient. We also work with the client. If that client is a wanderer, we'll get them out and walk them, because that's what they want. They need to get that energy out that they have.
Yeah, you need to retain your independence. And
Yeah.
we can help with that.
Well, folks, I want to really encourage you, if you have any questions, call Western Health Home Care. And we put the number there on the screen, and this is the private duty number, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is very specific to what we've been talking about here today. So again, Sue and Eric, great to see you as always. Thanks for coming in. Western Health Home Care. And give them a call, and don't wait any longer to do it. Do it sooner rather than later, and get a plan in place. All right, for more information, you can go to san diego6.com and just click on San Diego Living.